Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Heidi from My Reading Life, and I'm here today to film my July TBR check-in and book haul. I filmed this video 2 days ago, filmed the whole thing, and realized afterwards that I had chocolate ice cream on my face because I had eaten chocolate ice cream before I started filming the video and didn't look at myself to see that I actually had chocolate ice cream on my face. So I had to get rid of that video, and I'm doing it again. So that's why this video is a little bit later than I would have liked. Thought you would like my backyard here for a little background, so I apologize if the insect noise is noticeable. It is August in Maine, which means the hot bugs are singing, the cicadas, for those of you who don't call them hot bugs. So what are we doing here today? We are reviewing my TBR balance sheet. So for those of you who are new or maybe have forgotten why I do this every month, I like to check in every month as to the state of my physical TBR. So these are my physical TBR numbers, the books that I actually own and have not yet read, and it helps keep myself accountable for the amount of books that I bring into my home. I don't have any particular goals in mind. I never want a zero TBR. I like to have options for what I'm reading, but I like to keep track of it. It's a fun game that I like to play. So let's look at the numbers for July. So in July, I read a total of 10 books. 4 of them were off my shelf. I brought in 6 books. I gifted or unhauled 2 books, so that removed 2 books from my physical TBR, which left me of a net increase or decrease of 0. So my total continues to be 106. So holding steady for 2 months in a row at 106. Not too shabby, not too shabby. So let's first talk about the 2 books that I removed from my physical TBR. One of them was a gift. So Doris was here at the end of July. We had been talking about wanting to buddy read Benjamin Franklin by Walter Isaacson, which I had a physical copy of. And so I gifted her my copy in the expectation that it would be easier for me to come up with a new copy than it would be for her in China to come up with a new copy. And I had picked that copy up at like a church sale for $1, I think. So I wasn't, lest you think I am overly generous, I gifted her a used copy that didn't cost me very much money. And I will say, spoiler alert for August, I've already replaced that copy with another used copy of Ben Franklin. So no worries, it's all good. The other book that came off my physical TBR was this novel, Inland by Taya Obrecht. I read about 75 pages of this one and just decided it's not for me. It's historical fiction with magical realism. It takes place in the Wild West time period, frontier time, cowboys, all that kind of garbage. I'm not totally into that. Hence the word garbage, excuse me. And I really don't care for magical realism most of the time. So you put those 2 things together and it was like not really my cup of tea. So I decided to just let this one go because why read books that you're not super excited about? Now, the books that I brought in and added to my physical TBR, I am super excited about. So let's talk about those. First of all, I have 2 books that I picked up when I was in Boston. I took a weekend trip to Boston in July, during which we went with friends and we did a Red Sox game and ate some great food. And of course, I visited a bookstore. So I went to Trident Booksellers on Newbury Street in Boston, and fabulous little bookstore with an excellent selection. They also have a cafe restaurant type thing. I didn't eat any food there, but we'll have to try again in the future when I go back to Boston, if I get back to that bookstore. I got 2 books, one of which is nonfiction. This is What the Wild Sea Can Be, The Future of the World's Ocean by Helen Scales. This is a book that's been on my radar because it made it to some prize list in Europe, and I don't remember which prize list that was, but this book was discussed as part of that, and it brought it onto my radar, and I thought, yes, that's a book that I am very much interested in. I very much like reading nonfiction about marine science because that is the field that I work in. So I'm always going to be interested in those kind of books. Plus that, I mean, gorgeous cover, just lovely. And then I also picked up the next book in the Thursday Murder Club mystery series that I am currently reading my way through. This is book number 3, The Bullet That Missed by Richard Osman. I just read book number 2 last month in June, not last month, not July, but in June, I think. So this is the next one I need to read, and I really love the characters in this mystery series. I like following elderly people solving mysteries. So definitely love this. A lot of humor in that series as well. If you like humorous type mysteries, I think that's a good one to try. I then, a week or so after my trip to Boston, I had a overnight that I needed to do in Belfast, Maine, which is a small town, a small city for Maine, in the mid-coast called Belfast, if I didn't say that already. And I visited a different bookstore in Belfast, and that was one that I've been to before, Left Bank Books. Excellent little bookstore in Belfast, Maine. If you're ever in that area, I highly, highly recommend. And again, I picked up 2 books, and again, they were nonfiction and fiction. The nonfiction is Who is Government? The Untold Story of Public Service by Michael Lewis. This is actually a collection of essays written by multiple authors. You can see those authors down there listed, some of them. I really like Michael Lewis. I've read a lot of his books, and I always appreciate his writing style. I'm particularly interested in this one because of its focus on what people who work for government in the United States do, like different case studies and stories about the interesting and important work that public servants are doing for people, and usually nobody knows about it, right? Like everybody wants to denigrate government employees and say that they, take advantage, or they're just, taking money from the taxpayer, all this kind of garbage. And that is not the case. Lots of these people have devoted themselves to their particular subject matters that they're expert in, and they work for a lot less money than they would if they worked in private sector jobs. I speak from experience in this area. So yeah, this is a book that I'm super interested in. It's just come out. I believe it just was published in 2024. Let me just check on that. 2025, excuse me. So this is a brand new book just published in 2025. So highly looking forward to that one. And then sorry, my nose is a little bit itchy, so somebody must be talking about me. I picked up a fantasy novel. This is Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. I've only read one T. Kingfisher so far, and everybody talks about them as being excellent fantasy writers, and also horror, I think. I'm more interested in the fantasy side of their work, and this one was highly recommended to me by the booksellers at Left Bank Books. So how could I pass it up? Plus that it has this excellent tagline on the back. This isn't the kind of fairy tale where the princess marries a prince. It's the one where she kills him. Excellent. That's an excellent tagline. So then these last 3 books coincide with Doris's visit here to Maine, and you will see me talking about these in a video that we filmed together that will be coming out on Doris's channel at some point. We did a little book haul video, but I just want to briefly mention them here as well. The first book is one that Doris kindly brought me from China. This is The Rib Joint, a memoir and essays by Julia Koets. And this is a very small nonfiction book about Koets' time growing up in the South in the United States, being she is queer, and what that's like for her growing up in the geographical location which she is raised. Very interested in that subject matter, and I really like essays, and I think memoirs told in essays can be can really work for me very well. So looking forward to this. Plus it's short, so it's going to go immediately on my Shorty September pile to be read in that month. So that's an excellent acquisition for that purpose as well. Thank you again to Doris for thinking of me and bringing it to me all the way from China. That's amazing. Then I picked up a book at my local bookshop, a boatload of books in Eastport, Maine. This is The 100 Years' War on Palestine, A History of Settler Colonialism and Resistance, 1917 to 2017 by Rashid, Khalidi. This is a book that I've already read, so this book does not count against me on my physical TBR, but I wanted a copy because I read it on an ebook and I want to reread it and tab it up and mark it up and all that stuff. I think it's really important for us to understand the history of Palestine and what has been done to the people of Palestinian descent, and also, you know, in the current climate where Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. This is the kind of information that we should all be aware of. So definitely wanted my own copy for my own shelves. Very glad to have found this one and to have it. And then lastly, Doris found for me, we strolled over to my public library and they happened to be having their annual book sale. And she found for me a biography for my presidential reading challenge. This is An Unfinished Life, John F. Kennedy, 1917 to 1963 by Robert Dallek. I just finished my biography of Eisenhower in July, so my next president to read about is JFK. I did not have a comprehensive biography of JFK previous to picking this one up at the library book sale. Plane going overhead. Apologize for that. What are the chances? I did have a book about JFK on the TBR, but it's more of a it's about a specific topic rather than a biography of his life. So you know that in my presidential reading challenge, I am reading a biography of each president in turn, chronologically. And so I was really thrilled to get this one. I donated $2 for this lovely hardcover of JFK. It was only taken out one time out of my library, which is why it ended up in the sale pile. But I mean, just crazy to me. Anyway, glad to have this one, and I will be picking this one up soon so that I can continue on with my presidential reading. And these are the books that I brought in the month of July. I'm very excited about all of them. I think it's a particularly excellent haul this month. I did a good job, I think, of balancing my different interest areas. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to them all soon. I hope you're all doing well and finding some great books to read. I will talk to you later.